Hello everyone, hope you're all doing great, and welcome back to devtechie.com. And we are excited to announce our second in the series for Apple Foundation Models Framework course. In this course, we are going to be taking a deep dive into some of the complex topics. For example, session management, how to manage your session. And we're going to do this by basically building two complex apps. The first one is going to be a text summary app where you can provide any text and ask your chatbot to summarize it for you. And as an example, I will take this entire text and paste that inside this summary bot right here and ask it to generate a summary, and it'll basically give me a summary for a text, and if it can't, then it'll actually give you a nice message. But as you can see, it took a couple of tries, but it did give us a summary. So you can see that this particular bot is good at summarizing text for you, and this text could be your course details, your news articles, or any document that you can actually use, copy paste, and basically generate a summary. So we're going to be building this end to end to understand how the Apple Foundation models work for some of the complex flows in a full app development scenario. Then from there on, you're gonna go into a single turn versus multi-turn conversation, and we're gonna take a deep dive and understand how single turn and multi-turn conversation works and what roles do session play in that. So how does session handles both of these scenarios? We're gonna look into the session management and the whole transcript idea of session management, where your model keeps a track of previous conversations to create a long living context for your chatbot to understand what has happened in past, so it can create your future responses or chatbot's future responses based on what it had the understanding from the ongoing conversation that you've been having with the chatbot. At this point, you're going to have access to your source code, what you've done so far, and then we're going to jump into some of the discussions about prompts and instructions. So instructions and prompt play a big and major role into defining how your model responds to you. And we're going to take a deep dive in understanding what to do to write a good instruction to define your model behavior, set the guardrails for your model and for your bot to respond, and then how to create some good prompts to generate the output that you're looking for. We're going to take a deep dive from there into the respond function, and this respond function is going to help you understand how model handles these asynchronous calls and what are the things that you need to consider while creating the respond call to your on-device LLM. With all the understanding built, and all the foundation built, we're gonna basically go ahead and move on to create a fully functional travel assistant chatbot. You're gonna create basically a chatbot that is not only capable of handling the question and answer, but it also keeps the context, so it knows what you're talking about, so you don't have to repeat yourself over and over when you're talking to the bot. Okay, and we're gonna basically leverage liquid glass to create our UI, and we are also going to provide Markdown support. So we're gonna have to write some custom code to provide Markdown support to handle the response properly, and then you're gonna get fully functional source code for that too. And this is a chatbot that we're going to be building. So you're going to start let's go ahead and start our interaction. So we're going to say hi, and chatbot greets you. I am planning a trip to Japan. And let's see what our bot says. for our trip to Japan, and there we go. Like, it actually gave us some of the common information that we might see. For example, visa requirement, travel insurance, transportation, language, and all that good stuff. From there we can say, like, we can be a little bit vague as we are talking to somebody, like, an agent, and not provide, like, where we are going. Like, any of these conversations, we're not going to mention after the first interaction where we are going, and the chatbot should understand and respond accordingly. For example, we're going to say, I am planning to go there in summer. Okay, and let's wait for, like, our chatbot to respond and see, like, what it says. So there we go. So it has, like, basically it has understood that we are actually visiting Japan from the previous context, and it'll talk about, like, weather, crowd, festivals, activities, and precautions. So this basically is what you're going to be building as, like, before you finish the entire course. And this is going to be, this, like, chatbot is going to be based on all the knowledge that you've gathered from these previous sessions. Now, this course has a prerequisite. The prerequisite is basically our foundation models, course number 1, which was getting started with Apple foundation models. And this new course builds upon the topics that we have discussed here in this course. Now, there are two optional prerequisites to these foundation model courses. One of them is your mastering machine learning in iOS and SwiftUI, where we talk about all the machine learning scenarios and how to build your own custom models using CreateML, CoreML, and Vision, and how to build AI-powered apps within the Apple ecosystem. This is one of the prerequisite, and the other prerequisite is mastering SwiftUI in iOS 26. If you are new to SwiftUI, I would highly recommend you taking this course, because this course sets the foundation by building a practical example ground up to give you a full understanding of how Liquid Glass works and how to build an app in SwiftUI. All right. With that, we are excited to present this new course to you. So hope you join us and enjoy. And in the future versions of foundation models, we're going to be covering more detailed topics. So stay tuned for them. Okay. I'll see you guys in the course. Thank you.